You too, man. Welcome back to Cape Palace, man. The NBA has been kind of dry lately. What I mean? It's been dry lately. Obviously, we have some breaking news that happened yesterday. Chris Paul got sent home by the Clippers at 3 a.m. on the East Coast yesterday. Bro, they sent him home. Um, Turns out there was some back and forth going on between him, the organization, the coaching staff, as far as leadership wise. His words not really getting to coaching staff and the organization on how they can win games. If y'all don't know, the Clippers have been losing a lot of games. They recently just won their first game in like 2 weeks against the Hawks yesterday without obviously Trey Young and Jalen Johnson. But before that, though, man, the Clippers they were on like a 7 game losing streak. They couldn't win a game. They're currently 6-16, 13th seed in the West. Obviously Chris Paul was sent home. Personally, I don't think you do that to somebody like Chris Paul, he's a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards ever played the game. Um, you don't treat you don't treat a player who's arguably the greatest Clipper of all time that way. You know what I'm saying? He's 40 years old and then you send him home. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like a fifth grade kid, like a kid in the fifth grade, like a kid in elementary school does bad, you send him home. That's kind of how they treated Chris Paul as a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Now, obviously, right here we got Ty Lue. He's going to speak on um the the situation. Obviously, there were rumors that even him and Ty Lue didn't see eye to eye, and Ty Lue declined to even speak to Chris Paul. So let's see what Ty Lue has to say about this situation.
Ty, we haven't gotten your reaction to Chris Paul and what your side of things were with Chris.
Don't have a side. I don't like it. It just didn't work out like we thought it would. And like I said, I don't like it for CP. But it just wasn't a good fit. And we understood that. And so, like I said, it was an organization. You know, they made the choice. And so moving forward, we got to see what we do. We'll see.
Coach, obviously things haven't gone so well on the court for you so far this season. How do you just shake off that feeling and start racking up a few wins together? I mean, what's the best way to do that, if there is a?
The best way is playing hard for 48 minutes. You're going to make some mistakes, and it's a game of mistakes. We understand that, but you got to play hard for 48 minutes, and everything else will take care of itself. And so, when you're not playing well, when you're not winning games, the number one thing you got to do is you got to play hard. And so, we got to compete for 48 minutes at all five positions.
How does having Kawhi Leonard back in the lineup help you guys get closer to
Um, a healthy Kawhi, more minutes. I mean, it's great for us. We see when he's on the floor, with his productivity, where we are offensively, defensively, we're a lot better. And so just having him be able to play real minutes, consistent minutes, is better for us. And so we just got to, continue to grow, continue to keep getting better. But with his minutes, starting to go up, trend up, we are a much better team.
In the old days, we used to talk to you about the pressure of winning, and you would say there is no pressure like that, just because of like how you were raised, and that's real pressure. But in a season like this, where there's so many things that just don't seem to be working out right, like how tough is this for you to have gone through what you've gone through in the first 2 months of this year?
It's been hard. Like we talked about before, I, never had a losing season, and a few guys in the locker room never had losing seasons, and so it's been tough just trying to figure it out, but I still got confidence in this team. It's frustrating at times because you want to win. Like that's the main goal is to win. And so whether you play good or play better and you don't win, you don't get the end result that you want. And so for our guys in the locker room, just telling them like we gotta just start doing things the right way for 48 minutes, and everything else will take care of itself. So if you do it for 32, 36, 38. nowadays in this league, it's not good enough. So you got to do it for 48 minutes. No matter what the outcome is, you got to continue to keep doing it over and over again till you get the results you want. And so we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We know we should be better than what we are. We know we had injuries. All teams have injuries, but it's going to be our mindset. Our mindset to do things the right way for 48 minutes and continue to stack those days and get better and better, and you'll see better results.
I know if you knew why you guys were 5-16, then you probably wouldn't be 5-16. But do you know where things went wrong? Like,
Yeah, went wrong when Kawhi got hurt and Bradley Beal got hurt the same night, and they missed 11 straight games. And so that was a tough blow for us. And I know the Clipper fans, which we love, and they expect a turnaround because we've done it so much and so long here at the Clippers. We've experienced a lot of injuries, and they expect every year for you to be able to turn around right away, and it just doesn't happen like that all the time. And so, we got young guys playing now. We're searching for different rotations, but the hardest part, I would say, with Bradley Beal and Kawhi got hurt, and then you add Derrick Jones to that, and then you add Bogey to that, and then it's kind of like a trickle down effect. It was tough for us. It's been tough and been hard for us, but I give James and Zoo and our veteran guys a lot of respect. Just try to keep holding it down, playing every night, not making excuses, not pointing the finger, and that's how you get past these bad days.
Back to Chris for a second. You said it was an organizational decision.
Like, we got to just start doing things the right way for 48 injuries. All teams have injuries. 11 straight games. And so playing now, we're searching for different rotations. But the hardest part, I would say, with Bradley Beal and Kawhi got hurt, and then you add Derrick Jones to that, and then you add Bogey to that, and then it's kind of like a trickle down effect. It was tough for us. It's been tough and been hard for us, but I give James and Zoo and our veteran guys a lot of respect. Just try to keep holding it down, playing every night, not making excuses, not pointing the finger, and that's how you get past these bad days.
Back to Chris for a second. You said it was an organizational decision. Were you part of that decision? Do you agree with the decision? And do you think this will help your team moving forward?
I don't think it necessarily helped our team. I mean, I don't think the reason why we're 5-16 because of CP's play. I just think that it wasn't a good fit for what he was looking for, and it is what it is. And so, do I want to see CP go out like this? No, I have a lot of respect for him. He's been a friend of mine over the years, and you never want to see a great go out, like this. But I'm pretty sure he will find something because he's a great player. And so I didn't want to see it end like this.
When Bogey is able to come back, you've talked about him as someone that does play pretty hard, pretty consistently, and I know it's been challenging to have a host of players not available. But where do you think he could be most helpful when he is able to come back?
A secondary ball handler, a guy who can run pick and roll and make plays, and then just the shooting component. Like, we've been struggling to make shots. You get another shooter on the floor that can space the floor with Kawhi and James on the floor as well, and that can help out a lot as well.
I ain't gonna lie, like my reaction, bro, like my reaction towards um everything, yeah, my reaction, like my personal reaction, bro, is like James Harden and Kawhi had something to do with this. Like, the organization had to ask Chris Paul, I mean, had to ask Harden and Kawhi about this right here. So it's like, but then there are rumors is like James Harden, what I'm saying, he was surprised, Kawhi was surprised. But it's like, as a player's coach though, like, I mean, bro, how many times is Tyloo gonna keep? And I don't want to go here, but how many times is Tyloo gonna keep his job with the Clippers, bro? Since he's been the head coach, bro, they've been out the first round every year. Like, no cap, like, and I know he's just a coach, like he not playing, but it's like it comes to a point in time where it's like, bro, the Clippers gotta get together, bro. This has not been a good year for the Clippers. You had the Kawhi drama over the summer with him um owning like a tree company or something like that. But like it was like some fraud type shit that they invested in to where Kawhi wasn't, like, he didn't have to do anything. He was getting paid basically a free lick of bread. And like there was a whole investigation with that, whole bunch of drama with that, and now Bradley Beal comes to the team, and obviously you know his injury history with the Suns and with the Wizards and all that, and then he's out for the season with a hip fracture. You let Norman Powell walk, he over there in Miami averaging 25, and he was an All Star. He would have been an All Star last year. He might be an All Star this year because he's in the East. So you let a 25 per game scorer walk, and you sign a player who's injury prone, who's out for the season, who's not the same player like he was 5 years ago. Bro, that's why they call y'all the unction, bro, because y'all have a team full of old heads, and Chris Paul was the oldest head on the team, and you cut him. Y'all signed Brook Lopez, he not doing shit. You signed all these old head veterans that ain't the same player, and that's why y'all losing now. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like it's sad to see this happen to Chris Paul, because there are players in the league, bro. The NBA is doing it right now to a few players, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Russ, you know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook, my dog. He's getting treated that way, to where teams don't want to sign him because of reputation and all that. All the false narratives. DeMar DeRozan getting treated like that. Uh, Man, sooner or later, man, I ain't gonna lie. Man, sooner or later, I'm gonna be honest. They might start treating I ain't gonna lie, man. They might start treating Paul George like that, bro. I think PG might be one of them. I ain't gonna lie. Dame might, bro. Hopefully they don't treat Dame like that. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, it's some players that's getting treated bad right now. Russ is one of them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's a lot going on with Clippers, man. But I just want to read off. I just want to read off some accolades as we speak about Chris Paul real quick while we watch some of his highlights real quick.
Less than a minute to go.
You know what I'm saying? Uh, Obviously, man, Chris Paul has been in the league for a long time. I'm saying he's been in the league for a long time. He's been in the league for about 20 years now. For 20 years now. But he's had a great career. So let's read off the accolades before we talk about Giannis, because I want to talk about the Giannis situation. Um, so Chris Paul's accolades: he's a 12-time NBA All Star, a Rookie of the Year in '06, 11-time All NBA selection, 4 first team, 5 second team, and 2 third team, 9-time All Defensive Team, 7 first team, 2 second team, NBA All Star Game MVP in 2013, all rookie first team, 5-time NBA assist leader. I think he's number 2 behind John Stockton. 6-time NBA steals leader, member of the 75th anniversary team. Um, Bro, yeah. And then he's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. So like, bro, Chris Paul is a Hall of Famer. Like, but this isn't. And then it's crazy because this was his farewell tour, and then to like cut him like a month into the season is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. You know what I mean? Cause Melo didn't get treated like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Melo played the whole season, but Melo didn't have no farewell tour. But I mean, will Chris Paul sign with a team? I mean, bro, who? Nobody's gonna play a 40-year-old player all the minutes. Now there are teams that need a point guard, but bro, Chris Paul not finna get them minutes. You know what I'm saying? The Timberwolves need a point guard, and Chris Paul would be the perfect player if this was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? If this was like, well, not even 10 years ago. 5 years ago, Chris Paul dropped 41 in a game 7 with the Clippers. to go to the finals. So, uh, or game six, whatever the fuck, I don't know what game that was. But bro, even 4 or 5 years ago, Chris Paul was still, he was like legit, and he made an All Star team too. So yeah, Chris Paul definitely. I say Chris Paul 5 years ago could go to the Timberwolves or Orlando that need a point guard and that can help them. You know what I'm saying? Or the Suns, because they ain't got no point guard. Or the Rockets. The Rockets keeps a point guard with no Fred VanVleet. But right now the Rockets are winning without a point guard. So, but I mean, if we look at the highlights from Chris Paul, like the Lob City days, bro, he everywhere Chris Paul went, he made an impact. OKC, they tried to say he was washed. They went to the playoffs that year. Uh, he goes to the Rockets before OKC. They ended up going to the conference finals, and if Chris Paul don't pull that hamstring in Game 5, they go to the finals. But I don't know if they beat Brown and them. You know what I'm saying? I think Harden wouldn't be as successful in the finals. You know what I'm saying, against Braun and them. So, but they could have went to the finals. You know what I mean? They could have went to the finals. You know what I'm saying? If you don't pull that hamstring. But Chris Paul did have a history of getting 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 injured. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of like, hand fractures, hamstrings, and all that. So yeah, um, that was the only thing with Chris Paul. But yeah, like, but Chris Paul 4 or 5 years ago could definitely go, you know what I'm saying, to the Timberwolves or the Orlando or the Rockets, you know what I mean? But I don't know, to send Chris Paul home like that was crazy. As a 40-year-old man, you telling him, like you gonna tell him to go home? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, have some class. Like, have some class though. Like, you have to treat you have to treat your veteran players with way more respect, especially with somebody like Chris Paul, who's an all-time great. You gotta treat him with respect, and they treat him like trash, sending him home like he's 10, 11 years old. Like, you know what I mean? Nah, like you don't do that. Um, but yeah, some players came out and spoke about it. Uh, Melo, you know what I'm saying? Melo spoke about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, he for sure got treated wrong. But hopefully Chris Paul gets back on his feet, and we'll see what happens. We definitely will be watching for the next move of Chris Paul. Next, I want to speak about Giannis. Giannis has been in the news lately. Uh, you know what I'm saying? There are reports saying that like him and his agent are gathering together to see what Giannis's future looks like. Obviously he hurt his hamstring last night against the Pistons. He'll be out for 2 to 4 weeks. But here is an update on what's going on with Giannis and the whole situation. And we're going to speak about which team he should go to. But let's react to the news.
Giannis Antetokounmpo left last night's game against the Pistons after just 3 minutes on the court. He goes down with a non-contact injury, ruled a right calf strain. He did not return. This could be a major blow for the Bucks, who currently sit in the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference. Welcome in. George Sedano in for Malika Andrews today, and I've got our senior insider, Shams Charania, with me now. So, Shams, what do we know about Giannis' status at this point?
George, I'm told Giannis will miss approximately 2 to 4 weeks with this right calf strain. So the worst case scenario of a more significant calf strain or an Achilles injury has been avoided, but expect both the Bucks and Giannis to be cautious with this calf strain. This is his third calf strain since April 2024. He's had 2 on the left leg, 1 on the right leg. So the Bucks here now will be playing without Giannis for an extended period of time.
And the schedule gets tougher for them as we look ahead here. So what does that mean for their season going forward?
George, depending on their
They're cooked.
results, their outcomes without Giannis, it could very well shape whether the franchise has an open-mindedness to the realities around this season, around Giannis and his future. We saw last night in the Detroit games, key players stepped up. Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, and General Manager John Horst, Coach Doc Rivers, they have believed in this roster's ability to contend in the Eastern Conference. So this will now give the team a runway for its own evaluation period in the coming weeks. 7 of the next 11 games the rest of this month on the road. And we've seen with and without Giannis. With him, they have the one of the best offensive ratings in the NBA. Without him, they have the worst.
Wow. We'll certainly keep tabs on all of it, Shams. Thanks. Appreciate it. So Giannis has made All-NBA consecutive seasons 9 straight times here. Only LeBron has a longer active streak. Now, if he misses 9 games or more while recovering from this injury, that would make him ineligible for the awards this season. So let's dive further into what's going on here with Giannis. In the last 24 hours, we got Tim McMahon, Ramona Shelburne, the Hall of Famer Mark Spears with me now. So, Mark, how does this injury impact the Bucks' Giannis situation?
Well, from a playing standpoint right now, I talked to Doc Rivers a little while ago, and, I mean, how do you replace Giannis, right?
You don't.
You don't. But they're going to lean on their backcourt. Kevin Porter, they got Scooters averaging about 20 points per game. Ryan Rollins is averaging 18. That's not a lot, but that's what they're trying to do. And Jericho Sims is going to start at center, but in terms of, like, trading for Giannis or something like that, I don't need to know his health. He'll come back at some point. If I'm a GM, I'm still trying to get him.
I just think it's going to be real quiet, right? That was a heck of a report Shams had yesterday, and I think the entire league stood up and took notice and wants to know more. And everybody I've talked to in the last 24 hours is like, does he have a list? Does he want? How close are we? Where is this? And because he's going to be out, because Giannis is going to miss, if it's a 4-week injury, that's 11 games. So that's 11 pre-games and post-games and practices and shoot-arounds that nobody's going to be asking him questions about his future in Milwaukee. And I think that's probably, other than the fact that he's not out there, that's probably good for the Bucks because it's not going to be as much of a story and it's not going to be a distraction day to day, night to night. Those 11 games matter a lot because if they can stay in contention without him, and they haven't been good without him so far this year, but if they can stay 500 or close to that, then you have more of a case for when he comes back to say, let's play this out.
All right, so Ramona thinks that could potentially be a blessing in disguise in regards to distractions. Tim, how do you feel?
A blessing for Giannis in disguise because he doesn't have to answer the questions on a day-to-day, game-to-game basis. But the question obviously is, has Giannis played his last game in a Bucks uniform? This will absolutely not deflate his value. I mean, it's a 2-time MVP. It's one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Giannis's value is not going to be affected by a 2 to 4 week injury. And look, we've seen as recently as last season a superstar get traded while he was recovering from a calf strain. By the way,
I remember that one,
for
Tim.
another superstar who was recovering from his own injury.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the difference here is if Giannis gets traded, it's not going to be in secret. Okay, the Bucks will
Secret coffee.
Yeah, if the Bucks have to trade this guy, they will create a bidding war.
Right.
And again, this injury is not going to impact the interest in him. Absolutely not.
All right, well, listen, I don't know if you guys realize this, but there was 45 more minutes of a game yesterday.
Oh, that's
between
right.
the Bucks and the Pistons. So let's take a look at those 45 minutes of
Has to win
basketball.
this game, right?
Well, we'll see. We start early in the third.
Anyway, man, hopefully y'all enjoy the video, man. But I do want to speak about real quick. I want to speak about where Giannis could end up next year or in the coming future. You know, in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wanna, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta speak on that. Like we gotta speak on. You know, where he's gonna end up playing. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta speak on that. You know what I mean? So where do y'all think Giannis is gonna go? Because bro, like it's not looking good in Milwaukee right now. Their team is not good enough. Their team is not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like they traded everybody. Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton. Bobby Portis is still there. But Giannis is playing with a bunch of a bunch of YNs. I'm saying Kevin Porter, Kuzma, a bunch of YNs. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to get it done. Like to compete with the healthy Celtics next year when Tatum come back, a healthy Pacers when Tyrese come back, a healthy Knicks team. You know what I'm saying with Brunson and Cat. No, there have been rumors, obviously, for years that Giannis is going to the Knicks. Can y'all please trade this man to the Knicks? I'm tired of hearing about that rumor, bro. Like as spectacular it would be, we saw the outcome with him and Dame. It didn't work out. Obviously, they got hurt in the playoffs both years, so they weren't able to coexist. But you put him with Brunson, I don't know how that would work. And the trade, you would have to trade Cat and probably if I mean you would have to trade Cat and like probably like two other role players. And they're probably gonna be key role players. So it's like you don't wanna do that. So yeah, the Bucks, man, y'all have a lot to think about. And with him being out with his calf strain, I'm gonna be honest, this could be a sign of y'all trying to trade, bro. Uh, but who knows? But like, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed the video, though, man. Um, a lot, a couple things have been going on in the NBA. Y'all gonna get more content the second half of the season. I just feel like right now everybody's hurt. The ratings are kind of low right now, and ain't really much to react to in the NBA. So hopefully y'all enjoy the video. Y'all let me know where y'all think Giannis gonna end up. I think he's gonna stay with the Bucks, and then probably next summer he'll probably make a move. But bro, like y'all did this with Devin Booker, y'all did this with Dame, y'all did it with Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did it with can't say Luca. Bro, I even heard the Mavericks are trying to trade AD, and that AD might be going to the Bulls, which is not a bad team because I mean he'll be the second option. Well, no, he'll be the first option because right now the first option is Josh Giddey on the Bulls, the pedophile. But anyway, all right, but I gotta stop. He was found not guilty, but hey, I ain't gonna lie, my name. I don't know. Hopefully y'all enjoy the video, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe if y'all new. Giannis to the Rockets to play with KD. Yeah, I said it. And I'm out.